This is a musty flick. This is a double musty flick. So how hard could 3 be? No! Well, this was going to take a while. Okay, so these are the first attempts that I did while trying the Triple Musty. Obviously they weren't great and a lot of improvement could be done, but overall they were pretty fine considering that I have never trained them properly, so it definitely took a while to get used to. Just the movement and the delaying of the flick. And I noticed right after I get the first Musty, I'm barely catching up to the ball to get the second reset in to get the second Musty. And also the touch right after the first Musty is very awkward and it just makes getting the second reset so much harder because I have to make up for the bad touch in the first place. And this is a pattern that goes throughout the whole video just because I was struggling so hard to improve on this specifically. Okay, this is way harder than I thought. And this was me realizing that this is going to take more than I thought, because I originally thought it would take half an hour, maybe 1 hour. In the end, you'd see just how long it took, but it definitely wasn't even close to 1 hour. Now, it was about at a 2-hour mark in which I decided to actually research on how to do the mechanic, and this is what I came up with. Maybe this is the one. Pause. I'll be back when I watch the full video. Okay, so what I got so far is that most freestylers apparently use a square dead zone, which makes flip cancelling and control easier, because compared to the default dead zone, which is a cross, reaching the diagonals is much faster on the square dead zone because it's just less traveling. Okay, now the method we are going to use is through Steam, because apparently you can use Steam settings to get it. What you are supposed to do is go to your Steam. Now that you have finally loaded in. Even though I play on Epic Games, you can still do this, because you just add Epic Games as a non-Steam game. You just add it through here. I don't have it right now because I've already added it, but when you do add it, you connect your controller and you should see this little icon pop up. So click the icon. When this pops up, click on Edit Layout, then navigate to Joysticks, and from this menu navigate to the little gear icon on the left joystick. Now go to Dead Zones and scroll down till you see Dead Zone Source. Now when you see this, on default, it would be on no dead zone. Set it to custom. After you do it, scroll down till you see dead zone shape. This would be set to cross, go to square, and you would be done. I left those settings on default because I don't know what they do. Now, when you want to play the game, launch it through Steam. Even if you're on Epic Games, launch Epic Games through Steam, because this way you have the Steam input and the square dead zone. Okay, now back to Musty Flicks. Now, what I also noticed is that when you do a stall, it's way easier to not flip to the side and actually get the stall right. And as you can see, it's quite easy now to go for stall resets, because it's just so easy to do it with a square dead zone. Now, another important thing is that speed flips are way harder on a square dead zone because the corners distort diagonal angles and over accelerate outer sensitivity. So immediately after switching the dead zone, it became way harder to control the ball while air dribbling, because the faster diagonals are actually very fast. So I had to lower my dead zone in the game way down to 1.25. Keep in mind I usually play on 3, so it's a big difference. But after a couple of hours of practicing, I finally started getting used to it and started being close to hitting the Triple Musty flick. Something needed to change because it obviously wasn't working out. So I decided to take a look into my setup. And the first thing that I noticed that I'm doing wrong is going to the wall with too much speed, because this pops the ball way too much and it's hard to follow up for the musty after. The second thing that I tried changing is just to be more patient with a flick, since if you go too early, you just go behind the ball and you flick it behind you, which is not what you want. Now, right after changing those two things, I had the first breakthrough and almost scored a goal, missing barely by like 5 pixels and hitting the crossbar. Then something just clicked and I started getting more momentum and I was getting closer and closer to the actual shot, and everything was going perfectly fine until hour 4 came. Something just snapped in me and I started missing every single opportunity to get the musty flick and the reset, and it was just going horribly. It was at around this time where I started getting really frustrated and just started like tilt playing, and I was getting no progress done. And this was basically going on for about 2 hours. So here is a little 15-second montage of what I achieved during those 2 hours. So as you saw and still can see, I didn't manage to get even a single attempt at the shot I was going for. This is where I called it quits for the day and was about to poke my eyeballs out. So instead of doing that, I went to sleep. Immediately after hopping on the next day, I was for some reason insanely consistent and I was almost getting it every single time. At this point I actually had hope that I would finish the challenge just the day after starting it, and everything just started to click. So in the next 30 minutes I just got more and more consistent with it and almost managed to hit whatever this was. And it was at a 6-hour mark in which I was fully confident that I could hit the shot, so that's exactly what I did. So after 6 hours of non-stop practicing this, well, if you don't count the sleep of course, this triple musty flick, I finally got it. And to me, it was incredibly unsatisfying. Hopefully it was satisfying for you, but for me it just sucked. So anyway, see you in the next one.